All right, guys, this is TKS Hobby back again, working on the Rustler custom build project. We're gonna get right down to it. As you can see, it does come with everything you need to assemble it. You have 1, 2, 3, 4 washers. There's washers on the tops of on these screws over here. As you can see, I got my screws lined up. There's washers over there on those screws. You'll see it as I start to put it together. And I have one of the bearings and 2 washers already on the post here. So we're just gonna go from right here. You just put those washers and those bearings on the post, like so. 1 washer, 1 bearing each post. And just make sure that you assemble it with the steering link side in line with the servo spline, so that you can set up your steering link and your servo saver. And you just slap that on there like that. Make sure that your bearings are seated and everything that you need, like that in place. Then you grab your other 2 bearings. You stick those in there, 1 on each side. It's not a big deal. Just make sure you just line your bearings up straight, because they'll give you a little grief, like this one's trying to do me if you don't. But there we go, we got it in. And I just left the washer and the screw together. Just slap it in there like that. Start one, washer and screw, slap it in there, start the other. And today, because I want to be a little bit quicker, I'm going to use my power wrench. I kind of had to rig it so that I could use it. So it's got a few extra pieces that people might not have on theirs, but I was being cheap. And you just tighten the screw down. Try to hold it still. So you guys can see what I'm doing. I need to see what I'm doing. Just bring it down, as you know, not too snug. There you go. Make sure everything is free and loose and moving. The other one, bring it on down. I changed the washers because I didn't like the other ones. So these washers I got are my own washers, because I didn't like the other ones because when you do this, they fall off. So I didn't want to have to deal with that. So I changed the washers. And then you just line it up. You see these 2 indentions on the chassis here, right here. There's 2 indentions on the chassis where these 2 parts here will seat. This here is gonna seat right there. These 2 right there when you turn it over. And you're gonna wanna make sure, let's pick the chassis up for a second. You're gonna wanna make sure that you set up so your servo wire can go behind this little peg here to keep things out of the way, keep your servo wire out of the way so it doesn't give you problems when you're doing the rest. So let's see if we can get this guy in place. You just got to come through here like this and make sure you get your servo wire down. I would do that first, just make sure I got my servo wire down. If you have the luxury of having some other washers that you can replace these washers that came with the kit. And just a footnote that something I discovered as I was going along, seeing how that's seated in there, nothing's moving. Something that I noticed as I was going along, that the screws that come with that particular bell crank, I forgot to mention, that's what we were installing, the bell crank. They're long. The ones that come with this, I got this from Amazon. It's I think it's called RCU, something like that. Anyway, it's an Amazon acquisition. Just look it up. It's not expensive. It actually costs about the same as the Hot Racing one. But I got this one because it was green, because you see I'm trying to sprinkle a little green on my build. So anyway, once you're done with that, you just take your screws and you just line them up. I wouldn't start with those front screws. I would start with the back screws because that helps kind of hold things in line for you a little bit better. You know, you get those started in. Start one. And actually now I'm gonna go to the hand tools because I don't like using the power tools when you're tightening things. If they're really long, I get it. But if they're short like this, and you starting them up, you know, you can always go to the power tool and snug them up. But, you know, long screws, power tools, short screws, I do them by hand because it's in plastic, it's easy to strip them. So I don't want to get those stripped. So that's how we, you know, back to what I was talking about. That's how we get the bell crank installed. And you just tighten these screws down, get them all started. You see which screws I'm using. There's two kind of large ones, the larger ones in the front. If you have a screw kit, or if you know where they'll be if you're taking apart your truck to replace this or install another one. I got tools everywhere. You know what? I'm gonna just do this part off camera, then I'm gonna wrap this up so y'all don't have to waste time watching me fumble. All right, we got the bell crank in, we got the screws down, everything's all tightened up, and she's moving nice and free and loose. I don't have to worry about any binding or anything like that. Those are nice bearings. Yeah, the bearings that come for this, if you should get a bell crank or something and you have bushings, you know, you can go to Traxxas. It's the 5x8 by 2.5 bearings. They work really good. They're perfect for this. Obviously, they fit right in. Everything on this particular build is RPM except metal parts, obviously. I got these from not Amazon, sorry. I actually got these off of eBay. I know that there are some that are like this on eBay that are not the best. People are having problems with screws falling out, stuff snapping. You know what I mean? But this guy, he's been around a little while. So, I mean, for some years. I've actually shopped with him before. The obviously the chassis and the receiver box, the bell crank, my I still don't remember what this thing is called. My A-arm, my front A-arm brace. I'm just call it that, you know. And obviously the servo. There might be a couple other things. I got my caster blocks and I got my, what is this called? My carriers. And I got the bearings and everything for them. I'm just waiting on a few pieces. Things like my toe links, my steering links. Of course, I got to get some shocks. I haven't decided if I'm going to build my shocks. You know what I mean? You got the schematic right here for how to put a shock together. So if you get the parts, you can just build your shocks. And I was thinking, because I saw some ST Racing shock bodies. I seen a few nice ones on Amazon. You know, they heavy duty, they real thick. They may be even bigger than necessary, but there's nothing wrong with that. And in truth, from what they say, I don't know if you remember the guy Zhang from years ago. He's not on YouTube anymore. That guy knew his stuff. And he says that Traxxas shocks, there was really nothing wrong with them. You know what I mean? They had durability. All you needed to really do was change the caps from plastic to aluminum and learn how to tune using those spacers, and you were good to go. But he was a racer. So this is a basher, though. So we probably be wise to, I don't know if I want to spend $60 on shocks and then $60 on tires. I'm trying to keep this. It's supposed to be a budget build. And I know if I go piece by piece, now I'm ranting, right, that it'll be cheaper that way. But at the end, it's going to cost what it's going to cost. So I'm not going to continue to waffle on about that. I like that term too, you guys. It's catchy. Waffle. You know what I mean? Like Pac-Man. Just running. Anyway, Got that bell crank in real good. It's nice. This I will mention this though. This is from the Revo 3.3. I'm gonna give it a try. I don't know if it's gonna work because I didn't want to use the old one because it's white and I'm trying to stay as much with my theme as I can, black and green. There, of course, there's gonna be some silver. There's gonna be some silver. You can't have everything, but that's some minimal thing. I'm getting excited, you guys, because I'm almost done. I'm almost done. It looks like something now, you know? It looks like something now. So I'm excited about it. Can't wait to get my power plant for this thing. I haven't made a decision on that yet, but you know me, I'm gonna go budget. This is what we doing. We trying to keep this thing on a budget. I'm trying to make sure that I build this, and I'm not so far. I know it's going to be more than a stock VXL, especially even the one with the older transmission. I don't have a 727R on here, so I don't have tunable diff and all that. I'm going old school for the most part. You know what I mean? And but I do have the new school chassis. That new chassis. Look at that with that smooth bottom. It's that new chassis. I like that. So I had to go on and get it. Extended battery bay. It's got my phone back here. I haven't even picked the battery for it yet, but I know, you know, we're not going to spend a bunch of money on batteries and stuff like that. If I can get 15 minutes of runtime, I'm good. So at any rate, I said I wasn't going to rant and ended up ranting. Oh, well. TKS Hobby signing out. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Help out the channel. It would be greatly appreciated. You guys have a blessed one.